Gone but never forgotten. Such a powerful phrase. A signifier of death, and humanity coping with eternal loss by finding comfort in the good memories had along the way. Perhaps the real death of someone isn't just when he kicks the bucket, but instead when one is completely forgotten, almost as if he weren't there to begin with. Anyways, enough with that BS. Here are some weird, wacky, forgotten formats, which I found to be pretty interesting. Heck, maybe you'll find them interesting. Maybe. Perhaps. Very unlikely. So first off we have wire recorders, probably one of the most heavily underrated formats, having had many advantages over its German magnetic tape competitors such as being cheap, and last but not least, being cheap, giving it a massive leg up over tape in the post-war consumer market. At some point it was advertised as pretty much the only audio entertainment you'd need. Want to listen to a song over and over which you heard on the radio earlier today? Simply record it, dumbass. And just like that, piracy was born. Yarr! Yeah, sure, the quality might not be the best, and the wire might snap at absolutely any moment thanks to it being as thick as a human hair, but hey, at least you got to feel above the law. At some point, people even tried to get these things into school so you could record the lessons and take them home with you. However, that was scrapped due to pretty high costs, duh. Although I am very sure a bunch of 5th graders would have been very mature and very responsible with such technology. Not. But what happens when you got a media format which is popular thanks to its relatively low price, and all of a sudden they become way cheaper to manufacture? Well, you get to be featured in a video about wacky, forgotten formats, that's what. So RIP to a real one. At least you got to be featured in detective movies. Next up we have quite a wild one. Well, as wild as content on weird forgotten formats gets, so not really that weird. It was such a massive failure that it pretty much killed an industry titan, and it's vinyl. Now you may be asking yourself, why did he include vinyl? Everyone knows about this format. Well, first off, how about you let me finish? Second off, actually, it is impossible for everyone to know vinyl, okay? This was no regular audio format, oh no, because it was a video format. Yep, it's a vinyl disc on which you can watch movies. Also, I'm aware about the fact that they are not actually made out of vinyl, so don't you dare actually me, or I'm gonna slap ya. Anyways, to anyone that has ever owned a vinyl record, you know one thing, they are fragile. Yeah, I know CDs are also dainty little fragile things, however, look how massive your average vinyl is in comparison to a CD. As you can see, you have a much bigger scratchable area, not a scientific term. This cursed abomination of a video system was launched in 1981 to the consumer market, after a long development period that started back in 1964. When this format launched, the entertainment landscape had changed quite a bit since it was originally conceived, facing stiff opposition from Betamax, Laserdiscs, and VHS, which all had much better video quality and more storage space, and the same problem. They were all expensive. Gentlemen, we have overextended our research period and now we have this outdated piece of tech on our hands. We spent a fortune producing this. How can we salvage this situation? Well, sir, it's vinyl. We could just... And now all of a sudden, this format made sense. And for a small period of time, this little format that could turned its fortunes around and started dominating the lower income market. Then Blockbuster shows up and completely destroyed this format from outer orbit with a force of 100,000 suns, banishing RCA to the dark realm for it to never return, punishing them for the heresy that they have created by renting movies on the superior VHS for a very reasonable price so that everyone could afford. I hope really nothing bad will happen to this guy in the future. What a hero. Now the last but not least, yet still on our list, we have this. Is that another fatal disc? What did I tell you about interrupting me? So as I was saying, this seemingly normal disc is actually a gramophone disc, the grandfather of the modern vinyl, and it's actually comically and ridiculously thick. And you know how in more modern vinyls, the only thing that is deteriorating is the disc itself? Well, none of that beta nonsense in this format. The only thing that is deteriorating is the needle itself, boy. And since the gramophone is an acoustic instrument, there is none of that so-called volume dial or silence thingy. There was only one setting: loud. Best you could do at that time to avoid a noise complaint was either get a needle made out of a lighter material like bamboo, or if you're more of a barbarian type, you could just simply stick in there some socks or any early weird 20th century clothing articles like sock girdles, I don't fucking know. Or alternatively, kill your neighbors. DNA testing won't be invented for another 70 years, so you still got a chance. This format was probably the most successful out of this pathetic bunch, being pretty much the only mainstream audio format for like 35 years up until electronic record players came about in the 40s that played thinner formats. So remember kids, if you don't lose weight, you will get replaced. How's that for a Monday motivation? Anyways, I've been Judy, and you've learned nothing useful.